Relaxation cushions emotional blows. When we feel hurt or offended, the feeling is entirely a matter of our own response. In fact, the feeling is our response. It is our own responses that we have to be concerned about, not other people's. We can tighten up, become angry, anxious, or resentful, and feel hurt. Or we can make no response, remain relaxed, and feel no hurt. Scientific experiments have shown that it is absolutely impossible to feel fear, anger, anxiety, or negative emotions of any kind while the muscles of the body are kept perfectly relaxed. We have to do something to feel fear, anger, anxiety. No man is hurt but by himself, said Diogenes. Nothing can work me damage except myself, said St. Bernard. The harm that I sustain I carry about with me, and am never a real sufferer but by my own fault. You alone are responsible for your responses and reactions. You do not have to respond at all. You can remain relaxed and free from injury. Here's a prescription to help you along. Take time each and every day to apply these 3 principles. 1. Take time to relax and de-stress. 2. Make notes, even written notes, of your accomplishments and progress toward your goals. A written success diary is a very simple tool for building a stronger self-image. 3. Create a visualization, a mental picture or two to call up and assist you when confronted by unjust criticism, catty remarks, or other attacks on your self-image. One patient of mine told me he would call up a cartoon-like image of his head on Superman's body, standing in the classic Superman pose, chest stuck out, bullets bouncing off, cape flying in the wind. How to remove old emotional scars. We can prevent and immunize ourselves against emotional scars by practicing the 3 foregoing rules. But what about the old emotional scars formed in the past, the old hurts, grudges, grievances against life, resentments? Once an emotional scar has formed, there is but one thing to do, and that is to remove it by surgery, the same as a physical scar. Give yourself a spiritual facelift. In removing old emotional scars, you alone can do the operation. You must become your own plastic surgeon and give yourself a spiritual facelift. The results will be new life and new vitality, a newfound peace of mind and happiness. To speak of an emotional facelift and the use of mental surgery is more than a simile. Old emotional scars cannot be doctored or medicated. They must be cut out, given up entirely, eradicated. One final word about preventing and removing emotional hurts. To live creatively, we must be willing to be a little vulnerable. We must be willing to be hurt a little, if necessary, in creative living. A lot of people need a thicker and tougher emotional skin than they have, but they need only a tough emotional hide or epidermis, not a shell. To trust, to love, to open ourselves to emotional communication with other people is to run the risk of being hurt. If we are hurt once, we can do one of 2 things. We can build a thick protective shell or scar tissue to prevent being hurt again, live like an oyster, and not be hurt. Or we can turn the other cheek, remain vulnerable, and go on living creatively. An oyster is never hurt. It has a thick shell that protects it from everything. It is isolated. An oyster is secure, but not creative. It cannot go after what it wants. It must wait for it to come to it. An oyster knows none of the hurts of emotional communication with the environment, but neither can an oyster know the joy. An emotional facelift makes you look and feel younger. As this edition is being written, the so-called baby boomer generation is hitting the 50-year-old mark and is more obsessed with stopping the clock, even turning back the clock, than any generation before. Fortunes are spent on cosmetic surgery, liposuction, fitness gyms and devices, personal trainers, lotions and potions, growth hormone injections, on and on. I have a different prescription. Try giving yourself a spiritual facelift. It is more than a play on words. It opens you up to more life, more vitality, the stuff that youth is made of. You'll feel younger. You'll actually look younger. Many times I have seen a man or woman apparently grow 5 or 10 years younger in appearance after removing old emotional scars. Look around you. Who are the youthful-looking people you know over the age of 40? The grumpy, resentful, the pessimistic, the ones who are soured on the world? Or are they the cheerful, optimistic, good-natured people? Remember, I am a medical doctor, a plastic surgeon. I am absolutely serious and sincere when I tell you that you can look years younger in face and posture and feel years younger in health and vitality thanks to emotional surgery and self-image strengthening with psychocybernetics. Carrying a grudge against someone or against life can bring on the old age stoop, just as much as carrying a heavy weight around on your shoulders would. People with emotional scars, grudges, and the like are living in the past, which is characteristic of old people. The youthful attitude and youthful spirit that erases wrinkles from the soul and the face, and that puts a sparkle in the eye, looks to the future, and has a great expectation to look forward to. So why not give yourself a facelift? Your do-it-yourself kit consists of the relaxation of negative tensions to prevent scars, therapeutic forgiveness to remove old scars, providing yourself with a tough but not a hard epidermis instead of a shell, creative living, a willingness to be a little vulnerable, and a nostalgia for the future instead of the past. Try these mental training exercises. By far the most challenging and rewarding exercises of all suggested in this program are these, involving forgiveness. First, choose one or two persons for whom you've long carried resentment over past slights, and find a way in your heart to truly, completely forgive them, no strings attached, and ultimately do so via your actions toward them. Also, identify some past error or situation you have been carrying a grudge against yourself for, and forgive yourself. And finally, once and for all, banish this from your thoughts. This may very well require considerable work in your imagination factory. Invest 30 minutes a day for 21 consecutive days on quiet reflection, working on this with yourself, in solitude.
If you are about spirituality, you realize that your priority is your people. But first you have to work on yourself. So it tells me that one is not working on themselves if one is just craving material goods. Because it's materialism put us where we are. So how can materialism move us from this place? How can materialism bring forward what is to bring forward with our people and our nation? Materialism is your destruction. That's what I say. You think riches is money. Riches is never money. But that is the illusion what them creating you. If you look at a lot of our people, their spiritual health, first of all, is not there. Their physical health is not there because you look at them and you can tell. You see a man with belly like a pregnant woman. And you see a woman with belly, hanging way down, and you know she's pregnant and pregnant because of what they're eating, what they're taking in.
Our immune system cannot fight the diseases that are coming into us or that we manifest, the illnesses that we have. With the presence of melanin, understanding how you can energize yourself, understanding your body in relationship to melanin, there are actual things that you can do to heal yourself. And African folk do it every day and we don't even realize. And in fact, if you were to cut yourself and you have something, you see the brown form around your skin, that's actually melanin. That's a doctor, that's an internal doctor healing you. Because if you did not have the ability to heal yourself, you would die of a loss of blood.
Sure.
So I mean, all of these things are wonderful.
You're implying also a role there that foods and diet plays in this.
No question. Food is like what we take internally. There are many different ways that you can develop melanin or improve the process of developing melanin. And the food that you take plays a role, the music that you listen to, the friends and the people that you associate with.